And resentments are high, but emotions won't grow. And we're changing our ways, taking different roads. Love will tear us apart again. Oh, love will tear us apart again. You don't know it.
I don't know this
The
song.
Joy Division, 1980. You don't know it.
No, the last one, Tainted Love.
You're very good. She knew it. Tainted Love.
Do you know Tainted Love? Tainted Love.
You don't know the Joy Division? Do you know Joy Division? Jedinaks?
Get away.
You don't know it.
I know that song.
Yeah, you know that song.
I'm the wrong person to ask you about songs like that.
Really? Oh, because you're all too young. This is the problem.
No, he's
not
just
about
terrible.
young.
He's just
Is
terrible
he?
with like names, dates, names of songs.
But it's also because just kind of like my parents too.
Why?
Like,
Why?
upbringing and stuff. So, like it's not that type of stuff that we listen to.
Well, we'll get.
Listen to anything at all, really.
Well, let's get into it.
Okay.
Let me introduce this bullshit podcast.
It is.
I know it is.
Yeah.
This is Invert the Y. Episode start out log, Captain's log, start date 12.1.5.9. And the USS Invert the Y is orbiting another planet of retrodium and bullshit. And today, this is very, very special and also a little bit weird, I got to say.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And it is.
We've got Sassy Suhini and we've
regular.
got the regular and Jedinak, better known as King Richard,
Yes, we do.
for the couple special.
We've been talking about the couple special for a long time.
A long time. We did ages ago. You and I were like
Yeah.
talking about the couple special. You got very excited about it.
Yeah.
But you know what's weird?
What?
Jason Relaxation is not part of this podcast.
And I
He
always
stormed
envisioned-
off.
Yep.
Didn't he at lunch? He said he had a little hissy fit. He was like, I'm not going to be part of this show anymore.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I'm tired. He didn't want creative control. He wanted all the bells and whistles his way, and we split up. Fuck him. He became Yoko Ono. So now
The weirdo.
now I'm replacing him with a sock puppet.
Really?
That's right, Richard. And just remember to be funny and cool. I can't believe
That's
it.
your voice now, Jason. Relaxation.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's a bit weird with that little prick because he's always
know.
like rolling his eyes. If I mention Microsoft and how shit they are, he rolls his eyes.
Yeah.
If I
And who's there to reel you in with your like non-PC?
yeah, well,
kind
I
of
can
shit.
say anything I want about China now. No one can stop me. I can do whatever
His
I
wife
want.
is Chinese.
She's Chinese, and
Yeah.
my niece and nephew obviously are half Chinese, right?
He has reasons.
Well, I've said when the shit goes down, I'm going to hang out with those guys because you know why?
You need someone on the
I
other
need someone
side.
to back me up. Do you know what I mean? When everyone when the floodgates open and everyone goes, you need to be what we want you to be. This problem. I'm going to hang out with them up in the hills, going, hang on, I'm partly related to these folks. Like, that's what I'm going to do.
When the revolution happens, you've got people on the
When
other
the
side.
revolution happens, that's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I was just having a look at your note here to see what we wanted to talk about, Sassy Suhini, but you've already beat me to it because I thought, wonder if she's remembered a key topic.
Oh,
but
yeah.
She has.
Yeah.
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 Very good. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I know. My memory's good.
Yeah, it's very good. I know. You know what else is very good? Jedinak's beard.
Oh, thank you.
It's one of the best, finest beards I've ever seen.
It really is.
The only thing I'd say is I'm sure at some point in his little life, he's probably used a product called Soul Glow. You remember Soul Glow in Coming to America? Just let your hair shine. Do you remember it? He does.
Yes, I do. I do. Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're not sponsored by Soul Glow, but you know what? I wish we were. Roll it, monkeys. If you want to get your beard shaped in a certain way, why not use Soul Glow? That's right. Soul Glow will get your beard looking wonderful and hip. You can be the biggest hipster in Newtown or any other place and look like you're the king of smashed Avocadoville. Soul Glow. We're not sponsored by Soul Glow, but we well should be. Have your
And
beard
we've got
look.
the beard here to prove it.
That's right. Look how beautifully it's shaped.
So lush.
It's lush
There are woodland creatures living inside.
because of Soul Glow. That's right. Get your own package today. No,
Hold it for 3 seconds. This is why we need Jason relaxation.
no, no.
Hold it down for 3 seconds.
That's what she said. It keeps running.
Till I die.
Oh, That was
Soul Glow will never
I need
die.
Jason relaxation.
No, just hold it. See?
It was 5
You don't need
seconds.
Jason relaxation. You
Don't need that little fuck. He left me. He knows I'm not technically minded. He knows I'm living in the 80s and that I don't like any of this shit. He knows it.
With all the random ads that you've ever done, have you ever had anyone call back?
No. not even Fleshlight. And as I said once in a podcast, it's a cheap joke. I've tried the flog Fleshlight for years. Fleshlight flog, remember? No, I don't think we'll ever get an advertisement because we're not popular. We're way too offensive, I think, as Jason relaxed. I mean, like I just talked about China in a bad way, you know, like.
There you go. But then again, you know, Kyle Sanderland's just recently, which
Did
I
you
thought
see the amount of money that prick's going to get?
6 to 7, 8 million.
And
7 to 8
For what?
million
For
per year.
resignation.
No,
that's how much
he's
getting for
re-signed.
work.
He's re-signed with, what's her name, Jackie O?
Yeah.
To 2024. Is that right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest deals in
Radio history.
Australian radio history.
Yeah.
He's going to earn something like, what is it?
$7 to $8 million a year.
A year. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, good for him, yeah.
But I thought
And he's the one who was saying, like, I found it funny, okay? This is probably another reason why we'll never get advertised.
We'll never get advertised.
I personally found it funny, but the thing is, it's not an original joke, what he made. His joke was that, I'm pretty sure it was that the Virgin Mary, or Christianity was just Virgin Mary getting knocked up and one woman's lie just getting shit out of hand.
Oh yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah,
That was it.
That was it. But the thing is, that's not a new joke. Like, that's been on Facebook for 1,000 years,
Yeah.
right? So he's just puppeted that particular joke, and he had protesters outside, and this is our Holy Mary, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh,
I'll
God,
just
get a grip.
Yeah, look.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, on a previous podcast, we talked about the old, like in the 80s, like Doug Mulray. You'd probably be a bit too young to remember Doug Mulray.
I don't know him, yeah.
He was a DJ on Triple M, and he was earning at the time probably the most of any DJ in Australia.
Yeah.
But I reckon he shits all over people like Kyle Sanderlands. Like, he's not... Okay, the guy he's I can't say he's not talented because he's doing something that I obviously can't do. Like, I couldn't press one fucking button there to stop the ads.
For 5 seconds.
For 5 seconds. Like, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're that funny. That's my opinion.
No.
I don't think that, because there's a difference in their humour. Like, I remember, I can't remember their names, but they were on Today FM prior to Kyle and Jackie O hosting the breakfast show and everything. And Wendy Harmer. And
Yep.
So, I mean, look, I liked them more because their humour had a sense of wit. There was like, it was intelligent humour. There was no other way of putting about it. Whereas Kyle Sanderlands is just crass. Let me just say the most offensive thing possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that pays for like the lowest common denominator, so it hits a larger crowd.
Yeah, that's
True.
right.
Yep.
He's right.
Yep.
Anyway.
Words of wisdom from the bearded man. And for those of you who don't know, there is a reason that we call him
Jedinak.
Jedinaks.
He really does look a bit like
he is
Jedinak.
the doppelganger.
I think it's just the back of my head.
No, it's
I've
No.
got an oddly
It's the
shaped head.
beard.
No.
Jedinak doesn't have a beard.
Yeah, he
Yes,
does.
he does. Remember the
Holy
photo
shit, he does.
that I showed you?
Hold on.
Ring
Yeah.
a ding ding, baby.
Yeah.
So perfect.
So perfect. I didn't press that button, by the
That's
way.
hilarious.
Jedinak, it's because I'm on the Bluetooth. So you know what we did before? We made practical jokes. We were ringing up people, right?
Yeah.
And so I can hook my phone via Bluetooth to the soundboard and we can call somebody up, right?
Yeah.
But obviously when my notifications go off, I get ring-a-ding-ding, baby.
Okay.
So you'll hear that.
So we get a bit of like random, and maybe if it lines up, it actually lines
It
up.
does
well.
happen. That's right. We could talk about your beard for like an hour and a half, and all you hear is ring-a-ding-ding, baby.
Yeah. No, my coworker used to. Well, it was during the World Cup was saying that
Look
I
at
look
that.
like Jedinaks.
He does, man. You
Yeah.
do. You do. You
Look at
really
that.
do.
Yeah, we do.
You
You do.
look so alike.
Look, at worst, you could say you're Jedinak's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
Easily.
Easily say you're related to him.
Look at the nose. And
Yeah.
the hairline, like everything.
Yeah. We should say, for those that don't know who Jedinak is, he plays for the Socceroos,
He's the Socceroos captain. Just Google that.
Yep.
And that is my husband.
It is pretty much, yeah. Very talented dude.
Yeah. Why the fuck didn't you win earlier in the year? You didn't train hard enough. Spent too much time gaming.
What did your
What are your priorities?
What did your co-worker say? Sassy Suhini was telling me about it. Your co-worker said the reason why the Socceroos lost is that you weren't taking it seriously enough. You're working too much.
Yeah, that is true. That is pretty funny.
Now listen, Jedinaks, we've got to talk about a couple of things that I've heard about you. Never met you before, so it's an absolute privilege to finally meet you because I hear so much about you, right, from Sassy Suhini. First thing is, you go around by another name, Trolley Man. Do you know about this? Your obsession with trolleys?
I don't.
Shopping trolleys?
Isn't quite the name I have. I'd probably go under the name of Pissed Off Grandpa, but I fucking hate it when people leave their trolleys out in public.
Dude, I'm with you. Now, around this neighbourhood, it's fucking out of control. There are trolleys everywhere around this joint, and it does my head in. They're just you'll find them everywhere. They just like there's more trolleys than people in this joint. There's trolleys everywhere. It's out of control.
But
out of control.
Where exactly is where's the Coles and where's the Woolies?
About 3 kilometres from here, and you'll find them up here.
How the hell I don't understand how
talent,
they do it.
There's a lot of talent.
I mean,
unless get a trolley that far.
Unless they have like a big van or something, I wonder if they just put it in the back of the van like that Lebanese dude. Do you remember the Lebanese dude on TV? He was making a stance because Coles or Woolies wanted to get rid of bags, and if you wanted to have a bag, you'd have to pay for it. So he went, well, fuck this. I'm gonna get a trolley, as in I'm gonna take the trolley from Coles, put it in the back of my van, and just take it back home with all my groceries.
Why wouldn't you just take the groceries out of the trolley into your van and just take the groceries?
Because he was trying to make a point and be obnoxious, but he was actually on TV and stuff, and it was so random. They were trying to interview him, and he had all his mates get together and they started playing Lebanese music as soon as they started talking to him. They were just like hitting like the what? I don't think it was a tabla. I don't know, some kind of like cultural instrument and stuff like that. And they're jumping around, and then they finally interviewed him. And then before the end of the interview, they went back to singing and making that random noise and stuff. It was pretty funny actually.
Because I've heard that you get really creative with how pissed off you are. That you write, please put the trolleys back, you fuck. But you'll do it in multiple languages. So everyone knows.
What I did was I did half of it written in Chinese using Google Translator. Although I said
was it Mandarin or Cantonese?
I have no fucking clue. I didn't care. I just wanted to put it up there. And it was actually shame on you in Cantonese or Chinese. And then the other half was like, don't dump trolleys and stuff. You can get fined in really small letters. And I put them up on all the places which I thought were, well, pretty much where the trolleys were. And then when I walked back, somebody had already torn one down. So clearly one of them was the person that would have put it there. And then another time, actually a few times, because they'd be about like 3, 4, 5 trolleys and stuff at a time, but it has gone much more worse than that. I actually pulled the trolleys and blocked their entire complex interest with it. This was quite late.
What he does.
There is a security camera up there, and I don't care if they saw me, because if they did see me, I'd be like, fix your problem, you fucktards. So, Anyway, it was just such an eyesore, and I complained to the council. I sent pictures and all kinds of things like that. I mean, look, I don't have a lot of time on my hands. I play computer games, so
we'll get to this.
Yeah.
So
I just envision like every time I see him rage about it, or I see him like going off to like move a trolley, or on the awful occasions where it's both him and his mum who go after people. There was a time we're just walking through the station, right? Like Epping Station, and clearly somebody's walking with a trolley.
I lost it.
And both him and his mum go after this person to check on them and ask them, do you know that trolleys, like, I'm like, I can't do this. I have to walk away from here. I don't know these people anymore. I'm brown skinned. They're white skinned. I've got nothing to do with them there. This is the.
I mean, it's not. It wasn't exactly like that. I actually confronted them first after bitching to my mum about it and pointing it out, and then she eventually came over because she could see I was getting really riled up. But the guy had was taking the trolley into an elevator, which also annoys me because it's like, well, an elevator is not for moving trolleys really, at least at Epping Station. And there was no space for other people to get in because of it. And then, you just got out and I was just like, I hope you live really close and I hope you're going to return that.
Mind you, there was an old lady waiting to get in as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's
I
just
hate
shitty.
that.
It's just shitty.
I hate
and
that.
honestly, like the guy was perfectly healthy and perfectly capable to carry the contents that were inside that trolley. I was just like, what's actually wrong with you? Why can't you carry it?
I'm with you, man. Look,
It makes me so angry, dude.
You're singing to the choir. I'm telling you now, it does my head in. You'll see trolleys everywhere around these parts, right? And I got a mate. I used to be like you, Jedinak. I used to go off my brain. Shout out to the weapon. He knows what I'm about to say. I used to say to him after, because he used to have he used to have a gym, or his studio, I should say, was located near a car park. His old studio. And you'd go out there and without fail, and mind you, it's nowhere near a shopping centre, there'd be shopping trolleys everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, you fuck this place. How come it's like this is shit? This is why the country's going to shit, right? This is why we can't compete with China, because those little fucks line up their trolleys perfectly, not here, right? and he goes, mate, what's your problem? Why are you getting so frustrated by it? I go, mate, this is the end. You don't get it. This is where it begins. This is the beginning of the end. Well, one day he decided, I think it was his girlfriend, actually gave me a mock-up shopping trolley little thing. I should have brought it down here. It's upstairs. I'll go get it later on. Yeah. It's a shopping trolley.
Yeah.
And he goes, there you go. Now you can put it where you want. I go, fuck, mate. It does my head in, right? But we'll also do with the couches. I don't know if you've got that problem in your parts, but we'll get couches that just suddenly appear, right, and sit there for fucking months.
Yeah, but that's like on your council flag.
Yeah, but they don't call the council and say pick it up.
Yeah,
no,
that does my head in.
But this is the defining. You think Australia and you think kangaroo, right? But you think West.
I think couches, mate.
Yeah,
couches
you think
and shopping
West,
trolleys.
and you think couches on fire.
Yeah.
What's
the only way you can get rid of them? The fuckers will stand. Because that the shit out the front here when you walked in, right? That is a perfect
stereotypical West,
mate. That has been there for fucking 6 weeks. Right. What I love is
terrible.
Right. The best bit is though the council have got all fucking posh and snobby because they come along and go, no, not taking that away, and they put a fucking green sticker on there and go, do something about it. But no one looks at the green sticker, right? I love it. I love how it's gone to shit the environment, right? It's just no one gives a shit, right? I go at the front there where all the bins are, and it's full of supposed recycling bullshit. Oh no. People just put whatever they want to put in those bins. And the best bit is when the truck comes to pick it all up, it goes in the same truck. All the same shit goes in the same truck.
Well, it's because they can't do shit.
They don't do shit with it. They just put it as landfill, don't they?
Yeah. I'm sure they would if it was properly done. I mean, even our unit complex, they tried doing the recycling thing, which is absolutely fantastic. But a lot of people they weren't doing it right.
No.
I can just imagine that those poor guys doing that job, which is... I give it to them for doing that job because I sure as hell would hate doing it.
Oh, it's shocking.
But I give it to them and then, to have to go pick up that bloody garbage bin and to find out that some lazy fucker hasn't actually put it in the right place, to then have to try and manually put it into the right place in your garbage truck and everything. Like, it's eventually you just get to the point where like, nah, I'm just not doing this. This is like beyond my pay scale type of thing,
But see, that's stuff
like Germany where you get fined. You just
get
fined.
No. You get the Gestapo knocking on your door. That would totally.
That's right, Jedinaks.
Yeah.
That would totally put people in line.
I like how he thinks.
Do your recycling.
I like how he thinks. So I'm fucking with him because that does my head in. I walk out the front there, right? There was shit that was taken away.
Yeah.
But that shit that's there now, the person that's gone and done it gone, I'll get in just before they take the rubbish that someone else has booked. But they actually got in past that point Because what the council's done is put a green sticker on there saying, "Oh, we're not taking that. That's illegal dumping." Right? Then people dump in front of the illegal dumping.
How are they going to prove who's done it anyway?
That's the point. I've spoken to the council so many times saying, well, you've put a green sticker there saying it's an illegal dumping, but no one really gives a shit because how do you prove who did it?
Yeah.
Right? Have you got a surveillance camera out there in front of everybody's house? Because you know the best bit, my now new pet hate, Jedinaks. I've moved on from Trolleys. This is my new pet hate. This is me as a real old man, right? I love how people go through your garbage now to get shit.
Oh.
I love how people go head first in getting recycled shit that they think they can make 10 cents on.
Yeah.
And while they do it, they leave all their rubbish all over the place and don't put the bins back. That's my new pet hate.
Yeah.
I've seen that before.
I've seen people do that at our bins. Yeah.
Epping and even Macquarie, but those people definitely are not mentally balanced. So
no, they're not.
A different thing.
Well, over here they're meth heads, mate. I'm being serious because there's a methadone clinic not far, right?
Yeah.
There's one old lady. She's a cracker. She's a smackhead. She might be fucking 45, but she looks like she's 90. I don't know. She walks around.
Mobile prune.
Could be a 45-degree day, but she's always got the same cardigan on her, right? All holy and shit. And she sticks her head straight down into the recycling bin. And I've caught her one time, and I've said this story before. I'm like, well, were you going to put the bins back? Oh, yeah, I'll put the bins back, darling. And 2 hours later, I went back out there, and there's shit everywhere. Who has to fix that? Me. Right? And then when I gave her the economic realities that she's spending more money to get to the recycling centre, like your 10 cents is negated by the petrol or whatever it is that you've used to get down there.
Yeah.
She was like, what are you talking about? She couldn't work it out. I go, well, it costs money to move from point A to point B.
Yeah.
You're only getting 10 cents per bottle. Are you getting your money back? She didn't get it. She couldn't
There are people in this world that are literally too stupid to insult.
These are the people that if it was Sparta, they should get thrown off the cliff.
Yeah, into that
hole. I have no problem if the government said to me, Operation Sparta is now a thing, right? And people that don't make the cut, they get pushed over the cliff. The weak and the stupid. Now, I know I'm in trouble. I know I'll be the first to fucking go.
Yeah.
But I have no problem with that if I know that there are other fuckers that are going to get pushed with me. I'll go down with them. I've got no problem with it. Operation Sparta is a thing. I'm telling you now, it's going to happen. Operation Sparta. Have we got applause? We used to have applause. That's right, Operation Sparta. Listen to the crowd cheer as we push dumb fucks over the cliff. It's going to happen, Jedinaks.
I would love to apply for the job as the kicker. To be the person and go, yeah, you're too dumb. Boom.
Yeah, you're too dumb.
You're too dumb. Like, you cannot be reasoned with. You cannot see sense. You can't even argue a point. So therefore, just do us all a favour.
Now, shout out to the weapon again. He's getting a few shout outs today, my mate.
Who is the weapon?
Well, I'll tell you what, if we ever have the Christmas special, the weapon will come because he has been on a podcast a long time ago, right? Now, the weapon is, I'm going to say he's my guidance coach. He loves that bullshit. Yeah. Right. And he's
is this the one that you do yoga with?
I do yoga with the weapon.
I find it weird
things.
that you go, I'm off to do yoga with the weapon.
Yeah. We've got like a man crush, a bro thing happening.
A bromance.
And then we have like lunch after yoga.
Yeah.
You
go on a romantic adventure.
Yeah, we do. We spend quite a bit of time out there, right? And we go after the romantic yoga, which is quite romantic. It's a bit touchy-feely.
Romantic.
Yeah. Then we go to the Natural Choice Cafe. Shout out to the Natural Choice Cafe. They know who they fucking is. That we should be sponsored by those motherfuckers. It's all paleo.
Oh.
We go there, right? And we have smashed avocado together. I admit it. I eat the smashed avocado.
What
I am the first
to
to admit it. That's why I deserve to be pushed over the cliff and put out of my misery. Operation Sparta is a fucking thing. I will be the first to sacrifice myself as long as other fucks get pushed over as well. But anyway,
can I kick you in? Can I be the one?
You can push me over. That's right. You can kick me. No, the weapon's got this thing about there should be a wand for stupid fucks, and you just walk down the street and go, too dumb. Wand. Like the fucking fairy godmother. Just smite them all with your magic wand. Like you're probably doing World of Warcraft. I don't know about that. Let's get to it. Listen, I've got a couple of things to talk to Jedinak about.
Okay, go on.
All right, it's his day.
Yeah,
right?
it is his day.
Jedinak, first thing on Sassy Suhini's list, which I approve of, by the way. Well done, Sassy Suhini.
Very well.
Your love of Star Trek Discovery. I have a concern about that. Dun-dun.
So I did find out that they apparently copied some real retro game, which is a shame, but it's kind of cool that they, if they did, appropriate it to the Star Trek kind of universe. But I think it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I'd enjoyed it.
How do we respond to this, Sassy?
But I mean, I'm
Strap yourself in.
I'm not. I wouldn't say by any means that I am a massive Star Trek fan. I like sci-fi, so I watch anything that is sci-fi.
Okay, so before we have our little retort, what kind of sci-fi do you actually usually like or watch?
Series-wise?
Movie, series, whatever. I'm cool with either.
So
I'm just interested.
Entire Alien franchise, though I don't agree with some of the movies' existence, because some of them were absolutely horrible.
I totally agree.
But I'll watch any shit just for the hell of it. I mean, sometimes you really want to watch something brain dead, so that's why bad productions exist, right? Star Wars, of course.
Now, okay, so let's talk about Star Wars for 2 little seconds. Are we happy with the Disney Star Wars, or are we talking the original trilogy?
The original old school ones are the best ones.
Agreed. Yep. Okay, cool.
The Disney ones are
trash.
Good, but they're much better. As in like they're good compared to the very new ones, the ones before that,
You're talking the prequels. You're talking the George Lucas, like the Phantom Menace and the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I wasn't a fan of those. Maybe Phantom Menace was all right, but the other ones after that were kind of like, I wasn't really a fan.
Okay, all right.
Phantom Menace was okay.
Well, okay.
I'm not saying they were great.
No,
to be clear.
I'm actually hearing him. I'll defend
These
Jedinak.
questions that you're asking are going to result in a divorce.
I'm gonna defend Jedinak just for 2 seconds because he's got a beautiful beard, right? and we can't ignore the beautiful. Do you know?
True.
Can I just tell you something? Do you know this?
What?
This is no bullshit. Do you know the hair on your face is actually the same as your pubic hair?
Oh yeah.
Did you know that?
No,
it is.
I wouldn't doubt it.
No, it is.
If I put
100%.
both of them
So
together-
basically,
you know what? That makes sense because I'm going to give a bit of an overshare now.
Oh, do
So the amount of times where I go into the shower after him and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with the floor? Like, what do you do to yourself? Like, why are there so many freaking pubes everywhere until the penny drops that it's like, oh,
That's the beard.
it's the beard hair.
She couldn't.
It's
work it
body
out.
hair too. You lose body hair way quicker than you lose.
But-
Yeah, I know,
but
but
it's
like
different.
like
Yeah. It's
you
different.
can see how thick his beard is, right? Like, and it's like, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is disgusting. Oh, it's the beard.
It's when I have to like kind of try and clean it up.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could try and comb it out, but it's just going to go everywhere. So it's better to just do it in the shower and eventually it goes away.
Yeah, it is magnificent. His beard. I'm a bit jealous.
Yeah.
Although my beard's not
There's
bad.
like rusty. Yeah. So you don't have bum fluff.
No.
No,
I've
you got a solid.
you
You
I
got
got
solid
a
stubble.
solid beard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of wog blood went into the making of this.
Oh yeah. As is his.
And a lot of
Look at
salami
that.
eating
Eastern
and being
Euro.
caught a wog in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so to go back to what Jedinak was
Oh.
saying about Star Wars, I just want to clear it up. Okay,
Okay.
I'm really interested in what he's saying. Recently, I've spoken to the Drunken Monkey, shout out to him on a recent podcast we did. And I've said that I would actually, if I had to choose between The Last Jedi, which was the most recent
one.
at the time of this recording, recent release, and a Disney production.
Yeah.
If I had to choose between that or the Phantom Menace, I'd take the Phantom Menace.
I would take the Phantom Menace.
Right,
too,
that's how
actually.
bad The Last Jedi was. Right.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible. It's
mean,
awful.
It really wasn't Star Wars.
No, it wasn't.
If you think about it, I mean, because there's no way Luke Skywalker would have died like that.
No, It was
He
awful.
would not have sacrificed.
Yeah.
And that random love story between, what's his face?
Rose and Flynn. Is it Flynn?
Flynn.
Finn.
Yeah.
See, this is, you know what that says to me? The fact that you and I can't remember the character's name says to me the characters were so insignificant. If we talk about the original trilogy, I'm sure we would get 99% of the characters off the top of our head and maybe forget a small amount of them, right?
Yeah, like the random Ewok on the side.
The random Ewok that was known as
Ewok 10.
Jedinaks the beard.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we would have rewatched the old ones many times.
But you're not going to watch the Disney ones.
Yeah, but see, why is it? So I always want to rewatch the originals, right? And I actually don't mind rewatching the first one of the Disney series.
Oh, that's not bad.
The Force Awakens. I enjoyed that.
It wasn't bad. You know why? Because it was very safe. It was a
homage to
It was basically A New Hope remade. But everything since, including the Star Wars stories, like I'm talking Rogue One and
but see, I
Solo.
love Rogue One.
We've gone over it before.
I know. This is a rabbit hole we've entered.
It's a rabbit hole, but I'm interested in what Jedinaks got to say about it because I just want to get his thoughts on it because you're saying you don't mind Star Wars, the Disney side, dark side movies.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've done a pretty good job considering my expectations. Because when I heard that Disney had bought it, I'm like, shit, this is going to turn out really bad. And they ended up actually doing a really good job with a lot of, I think, the kind of darker movies that they've brought out with, like, real-time action, not animation type of stuff. And, yeah, I mean, I think they've done a good job. I really, really was not a fan of, like I said, the Phantom Menace and the three there. Maybe the third one, was better than the Phantom Menace. I got mixed up.
What was the third one called
can't
again?
remember what it's called.
Force Awakens? No. What's it called? Romancing the Stone?
Return of the
Sith. Return of the Sith.
Return of the Sith and stuff. Yeah, like that one was actually cool, but I still, like, my most hated actor was the guy that played
Lance Hendry, not Lance Henderson. Hayden
Hayden
Christensen.
Yeah,
he was terrible.
I really, really disliked him. Like, I wish they had casted somebody better. And then the other problems with the first two was that they had that really Hayden Christensen.
He was awful.
Kid. He was just so fucking annoying.
He was awful.
I can kind of see, like, it's hard getting a kid actor that does a role really well without it being like, potentially cheesy or something like that. You're very limited with what material you can give to them that they can execute well. And, it's just kind of the age that they're at.
So you're saying, as a broad overview, the acting in the Disney movies is better than the acting that was in the prequels overall?
Oh, yes.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't disagree with
either.
Because if you remember, let's go down that path for a second. If you remember Attack of the Clones with Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman, I've said it before, and I'll revisit it again. I actually thought that was the end of Natalie Portman's career. She was awful in that movie. She was awful, and a lot of it was the writing and probably the directing. Yeah. And I don't know anything about movies and how they make them, but it was awful, right? Now we know Natalie Portman's a fantastic actress. Yeah. But Hayden Christensen was just terrible in everything he ever did.
I mean, I think, like you said, it's got a lot to do with, like, the script too. But I mean, I think a really fantastic actor could maybe turn it around. But then you have a look at Johnny Depp, who is a god, and he has done some terrible fucking movies.
Well, he's been sacked from the Pirates, hasn't he?
I actually don't know.
He has. He's been sacked from the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think we've seen enough of him anyway.
Yeah, but he has been. Well, he was officially. I could be wrong. I'm sorry if I am. He could have been. I believe he was officially sacked from Pirates of the Caribbean. But you're right. I think everybody's had enough of that franchise anyway.
It's gone on for way too long.
Yeah.
The first one came out in 2002.
Did it really?
Yeah, it's been that long.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, there's things that just need to,
they just
finish
need to
off.
let it go.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, let it go. And that's I think that's a problem with a lot of series and stuff like that. Like, you need to try and think of a nice way to end it. Like, I think Stargate they never really finished properly.
I didn't mind Stargate. You're talking the series.
Yeah, the series.
Huge Stargate fan.
Are you really?
They
yeah,
Huge
okay, yeah. I didn't
Stargate
mind
fan.
it. I don't know enough about it to have a real good discussion or debate about it, but I liked what I saw.
Yeah. Loved Stargate. I loved it so much because it used a lot of like scientific theories, and yes, it's
Myth,
very
lore,
far,
everything.
and
It was great.
It was far stretched, but all about the lore of Earth, like ancient pyramids, all that sort of stuff. So it was really really cool the way they tied everything in, and they had a lot of overarching themes that were relevant to obviously what's going on the planet. So it was just a really good show. But yeah, you're right. But at the same time, I think people have lost the concept of being able to just have a movie end as it is and be satisfied with that. Okay, it doesn't have to be the satisfying ending that you need, but you should be able to infer. Like, I know you haven't watched the Joker movie yet. But,
I haven't, no.
Okay, but that it's been told that is a movie unto itself. They're not going to make any sequels from that. And I think it's perfect because the ending, you can't, it's not, it's not your standard ending by any means. And I think people have lost the art to be able to appreciate something like that. And it also ties in with a movie that we watched recently. I know we're digressing, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
I didn't like
Before
that.
we absolutely unravel on that, because I will unravel and it'll take a while, let's go back to Star Wars.
Look at him. He's now telling me what to do.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
But another thing that I think we should also consider is the fact that the whole premise of those prequels was that, hey, the people that loved the old Star Wars have now got families and they want to start the new generation onto that. And that's why it was much more kind of like childish. So I can kind of see why they went that path. I didn't like it.
It was always
I wish they didn't.
No, I'm with you, but if you remember, the prequels too are a bit like the Disney in this way. They were there to sell merchandise. A lot of it was product. There was a lot of toy opportunities. There was a lot of you could just see when they did the pod race, you knew 100% they were going to make toys out of that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
all those little, even with the Disney ones, the little bird fish creatures.
yeah, the little bird thingies in Last Jedi. Oh, yeah, was it the Last Jedi? I can't. So I hate that movie so much. I fucking wiped it from my mind.
I really enjoyed them. I really did.
Really?
It's funny though that you think of like the whole kind of money aspect of it. It's not the first thing. I go see a movie and I never ever think about like buying things and stuff related to the movie really. Like, I mean, I know there's people out there that love certain franchises. I had a friend that loved the Alien franchise. You'd go to their room and they'd have like the massive Queen Alien like model, which is something like $500-$600 and stuff like that. Like, sure, I mean, I don't think that really plays to a really large audience. Like, I don't know, how many people do you think in the world actually are so massively into collector memorabilia?
Kids.
And that type of stuff.
Children under
But
the
not
age
that
of
expensive. Not that expensive.
I think. Well, I collect shit.
10.
Yeah.
You know, but I think you're right. It's a niche.
Yeah,
I think
it's a niche.
It is a
There's
niche.
nothing wrong with it.
No,
to
it's
be
a
clear,
niche. Yeah.
But I'm just saying that it is a niche and stuff like that. But yeah, sure. I mean, you could sell heaps of like little things and stuff that kids would absolutely love, like, you know, the Lego Star Wars franchise type of thing. And I mean, that's kind of cool. But even as a kid, I wasn't like, oh, I really want to have the Death Star of that. I just wanted a fucking pirate ship. So, you know, it's interesting.
What? So great. Really? You always wanted a pirate
I always
ship?
wanted a pirate ship. I had two of them. One of them's like,
Is this why you love Johnny Depp?
I would wager the pirate ship is actually, you could probably get quite a bit of money for it too.
Ring a
because-
ding ding, baby.
That's right. That's right.
That's great. It's like it's got a mind of its own.
It
Series
does, well,
fucking
yeah,
following us.
it is.
or-
We can make prank calls on this thing too. We
yeah.
can ring people up. We did it earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We rang up Super Simon at one point.
Super Simon's proposed challenge.
That's right. What was the challenge again?
It's a great challenge. It's playing Super Mario. It's Super Mario Kart drinking game. So you do a lap of Super Mario, like whatever the course is, right?
Yeah.
The racetrack, and you have to have a drink. but because drink driving is illegal, you have to pull over
Oh.
on the course, chug your drink, and then continue driving. So whoever wins after all of that will be crowned Super Mario.
I think it's going to happen. I think Sassy Suhini's all over this.
Yeah.
I think this is a wrestling match waiting to happen.
Yeah.
That would be good fun.
Pay-per-view. It's going to be. It's going to happen.
Stream it on Twitch.
My God Almighty! Look at the ass king. Sassy Suhini is a sick individual.
I can't
So-
wait. We're going to make it happen.
We're going to make it happen. So, with Star Wars, I don't totally disagree with what Jedinak's saying there, Sassy Suhini. I'm not. He hasn't offended me with that. He hasn't. He's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek, he's into Discovery. Did you like any of the others, like Next Generation or?
Well, that's the thing. Like, if I was stuck into those other series, I'd have a much more objective view on whether or not
So you
Discovery
weren't.
was utter shit. So no. Like,
Okay, yeah, so all right.
See, that's the thing. Whereas I grew up watching Star Trek Voyager.
I liked Voyager too.
Like
yeah.
Voyager was the one, and we would watch Next Gen and pretty much whatever was on.
Yep.
But when my family and I would watch it, it was always Voyager for some reason. Tuesday evening, 9:30, all the time.
Yeah, I liked Voyager too. I told you why before.
Yeah.
Because Voyager was a continuation of the Next Generation universe.
Yeah.
The premise was awesome.
Yeah.
Like a starship that was flung out to the middle of nowhere and you had to find your way home.
Yeah.
Cool. And along the way, you meet all these different aliens and have these...
Freaking Neelix.
I was just about to say, but one little thing fucked it. Neelix. Neelix
Do you
was
remember
awful.
Neelix?
Remember Neelix?
no,
He
like I
had
told
a
you.
really
no.
annoying
He's blocked
face.
it out. That's
Oh,
why.
Yeah, exactly.
Neelix was awful.
I probably
Live in
haven't seen it.
ignorance. You never want to know
No,
Neelix.
Neelix was terrible.
Yeah.
Did he look like what
He
did
was
he
the
look
Jar
like?
Jar Binks of the Voyager world.
He was the Jar Jar Binks.
Kind of
Yeah.
like a weird, like one of those
Prosthetic.
vampire bat
Yep.
things. I think.
No,
No.
he was a
Kind of.
little short guy,
With like weird markings and weird
yellow skin,
Oh,
had,
okay,
like,
no.
had like a ponytail that came down to his back or something like that. It
He
was
had
Okay.
weird hair. Yeah. It's just,
Right.
Neelix, no.
all right.
Okay.
So we're talking about Trolleys. We're talking about Star Trek.
Yeah.
We've talked about Star
Star
Wars.
Yeah.
Right? Was there any other sci-fi show that you were into, Jedinak? While we're talking sci-fi,
Farscape,
Oh, yeah.
which
never watched
I
it.
really enjoyed.
He got me onto Farscape.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they had some movies and stuff.
It
but
was really cool.
It was. I think that one of the biggest problems with Farscape was that it was competing with Star Trek series, and it was also kind of a much more quirky version of that. And people couldn't really, I don't know, they just weren't really buying into it. So what was actually happening was that what started off as this massive kind of, over advertised series, it ended up being pushed back more and more and more later into the night because it just wasn't pulling enough interest and stuff. And
was that
yeah.
like that was a similar thing was like with Firefly?
yeah,
Firefly was very similar.
I've watched it, and I know there's so many people that love
I'm the same
Firefly.
as you.
I
Yep.
just can't see. I can't see what they like.
I knew
about
you were
it.
going to say that because I'm very similar to you. I was the same as you. I heard so many people say Firefly shouldn't have been axed. I think it was axed.
Yeah, it was
Had
axed.
one season.
Yep, it was one
Yeah.
season. Yeah,
And then everyone was like, "Oh, they should bring Firefly back. It was
Yeah.
awesome." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to watch this thing." And I
Yeah.
watched it. I'm like, "Huh?
Why?
What? Why? Why are you so fanatical over that?" I didn't see it either.
I mean,
See, I never watched
the-
Firefly, but I watched Serenity.
yeah, the
was
movie
the
same.
movie-
So did it
Okay.
go.
And I was like, okay, that was,
Did you guys ever watch Babylon 5?
no.
I wanted to watch
Okay.
Babylon 5, but I never did.
There's
No.
there's a trick. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll tell you about Babylon 5 and my experience with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the first season's a bit of a washout, but you kind of have to watch it. But you're going to have to.
Because it sets up the.
It sets it up, but it doesn't. It sets it up, but it kind of doesn't.
Yeah.
I got really hooked on that show by about season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, randomly, I just started watching it from season 3, and
That's
I really
a massive ramp up, buddy.
well. I tell you, it was tough because I'd missed like 2 seasons.
Oh yeah, I'd feel
It
pretty
gets
tough after
And I'm
really
like, what?
good.
And I'm like, what the? But I tell you, I think there was 5 seasons in total,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say season 3, 4, and 5 maybe go back and watch the first 2 seasons because I'm like, well, I want to see. It was just random. By chance, it was on TV. And I'm like, I hear everybody talking about this bullshit.
Yeah.
I want to watch it, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm going to start. But it happened to be season 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't get any of this. But it was so good that it hooked me all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And long story short, it's probably got one of the most interesting themes to it. And it's all about the universe and who are you and where are you going.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Well, I'll have to check it out.
You
so
need
don't
to
tell me
check
too
it out,
much.
man.
Yeah.
You're gonna, but
See,
you have to obviously start from the beginning,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
didn't do. But I'm a bit of a fan of it.
So there's
It's funny. Sorry, go.
yeah. So there's 2 series that are kind of like on my to do list. That's one of them.
Get it. Watch
And the
it.
other one's Battlestar
the
Galactica, which
one.
I hear is absolutely amazing. But yeah,
Is it?
Okay, so this is my problem. Most people wouldn't have this problem.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I was a massive fan of Battlestar Galactica, the original, as a kid. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking 1982,
Right.
right?
yeah, because they made a new one.
They made a new one.
Yeah.
And so when the new one came out, a lot of people love that, and I think arguably it's probably better. But the problem I had was it wasn't in my eyes, and I know I'm the minority. It wasn't my Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, it's
Of course.
So
nostalgia.
I struggled with it, and
Yeah.
now I should go back and get over my bullshit and
Yeah.
watch it because I hear it was awesome. But I
guess that would be
I
like-
didn't stick with it
Yeah.
because I loved that show as a kid. I loved the original. You know.
It would be like if someone remade Stargate for me. Like, I
You-
think
you-
what you are with some of your Star Trek is what I am with Stargate. Like, I watch those inside out, outside in. And if somebody now, 10 years from now or something, redid it, I would never be able to go back and...
Well, we've talked about this to so much detail. I don't want to go back there because it's a rabbit hole. I will not get out of this rabbit hole. That's my problem with Star Trek. My problem with Star Trek is
yeah.
I know what it is.
We can't open up the problem with Star Trek
I know.
pothole.
I know.
We do this in so many podcasts.
I know.
But it's such a gripe. I know. I
it's a
understand
gripe.
that.
And maybe
I
Jedinaks
understand.
being a fan of Discovery needs to hear our point of view, right?
Yeah.
Because the problem with Star Trek is that there was so much material and lore for so many years, so many different series. Discovery's come along, and I know why it's legal. It's the Kelvin timeline. They can't use the original timeline that we love and we know. But to me, they just took all we knew and just pissed it away and put it in a corner somewhere. And that's what does my head in. So when I watch Discovery, and I've really, really tried to watch it, right? Shout out to Serious Sam. He's a bit like you, Jedinaks. He goes, it's great. You should watch it. I'm like, I just can't fucking do it. Time I try and do it, I fall asleep. One, it's boring.
Really?
Yeah, one, I find it boring. But the big hurdle I have is it's not my Star Trek. It's not what I know. It's just not. Like I want to see Next Generation and I want to see Voyager. Maybe Picard will be okay.
Yeah,
we did talk about Picard.
I'm excited about Picard.
We did talk about Picard. But
see, the thing is, because I know Jedinak told me to always watch, Discovery. And I got about 4 episodes in. And I will admit, I do have this awful habit of when I start losing interest in something, I'll go on the internet and I'll read the ending.
Yeah.
Because I just want to know. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, I don't even get that far. I go, fuck this.
With Discovery, he was like, you went and read the ending, didn't you? And I'm like, I actually didn't. I just don't care anymore. And that's very rare for me to do because I will usually be the person that goes Wikipedia, what's happened.
See, you
blah,
and
blah.
I are very similar in terms of Star Trek. We know what Voyager was. We know what Next Gen was. I actually go back as far as the original Star Trek.
Yes,
right?
I don't go
so
back
you don't
that
go
far.
that back
No,
far
no,
because
no.
you're not that old. I'm ancient, right? And that's what I know. Okay, and so what Star Trek Discovery is, it's saying forget all of that shit. This is what we're telling you is the new universe, and I just don't like it. I just can't deal with it. I think if you're someone that's never seen Star Trek before, knows nothing about it, it's probably
a
cool
wild
for
ride.
you.
I
right?
think it's quite.
I will say
complete. Yeah, like it's got enough information to make it exist on itself type of thing. I mean, obviously, having watched some other Star Trek things, I have watched all the movies, by the way.
The movies
So
aren't
I
that
know-
great.
Yeah, they're not.
No.
Some of them are
We
right.
had a
I'll tell you, there's
marathon,
We had a
one.
marathon.
There's
Yeah.
one movie that I'll say is great. It is a classic, and that's The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that is a classic
Yeah.
sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
The others,
It looked a bit like Bowie
Right, yeah, well,
Who
it was
what?
made during that
in The
time.
Wrath of Khan.
who
Wrath
looked
of
like
Khan.
Bowie?
There was
The
a guy-
Khan.
Khan.
Yeah. 'cause he had the
Ricardo
hair.
Montalban, I think his name
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, he did a
He
little
did
Just
bit.
the
look
hair,
like
yeah,
Bowie.
the-
It's the
yeah.
hair, yeah.
The hair and
To
stuff.
the depths of
But,
hell I
Yeah.
stab at thee. He tasks me,
He tasks
and I
me.
shall have him.
It was so over the top.
It was awesome, though. Come on, man. He was a great bad guy, Khan.
Yeah,
Like,
he was.
you know.
He was.
Yeah, and
gets
then, and,
referenced
then,
so much.
and then they had the what's his name? The Sherlock actor Cumberbatch play him.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
movie.
Which he did
yeah.
a good job. I was surprised because, like, I think Cumberbatch is he's more of a kind of quirky, comical fellow. He can't really do anything serious, but I have seen a few other movies where he's done serious things.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
He's wonderful.
Yeah, he's actually really
He's
good.
great.
He's great.
He's like one of those really weird actors that you just kind of don't expect to be an actor. Kind of like what's that chick's name? What is her name? Hathaway.
Oh, Anne Hathaway.
I think so. She's got like brunette.
Yeah,
black
she's hot as fuck.
She's
yeah.
she's just very kind of like weird looking to me.
Was she the one that was in Batman? She was in
Yeah,
Batman.
Yeah,
Catwoman.
she was
She's
in there.
Catwoman,
Yeah.
She's
She's kind
hot
of
as
like
How is she weird looking? She
She's
looks like a doe.
she's not weird looking, but she looks like a
No,
doe.
she's beautiful. She's got
She's
those
hot,
beautiful
man.
doe-eyed, like she's got the lash doe.
You know what? He's saying that because you're the special woman in his life. So he's
I can
trying.
tell you, he's not that sacred.
Oh, really?
But yeah, no, I feel like Cumberbatch and her are like they're kind of like really unlikely actresses because normally it's like you think, oh, you know, actresses they have a certain look, but she's got a very unique look. I'm not saying she's ugly; she is hot. You're right. She's a nerdy hot.
No, see,
I think she's a
just
nerdy
she's
hot.
not
smoking,
nerdy
man.
at all.
She's just
smoking
smoking.
freaking hot.
Yeah, man, she's just smoking.
No
dude.
way. Okay, who's nerdy hot?
Okay. Only because I can just think of it. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say she's hot. She's nice.
Yeah.
That's so offensive. No, she's hot. No, she's really hot in a cute way.
Backpedal.
In Stranger Things, that Nancy, that nerdy girl that was the reporter.
Oh.
She's like the girl next door,
Yes,
girl
yes,
next
yes,
door
yes,
kind of
yes.
look. Very,
Yeah.
very cute.
Yeah.
Very cute, very hot little,
Yeah.
you know. So she's what I would say is like the girl next door kind of look.
Yeah.
Right, Anne Hathaway is not the girl
No,
next
she's
door.
not the girl.
She's
She's
like holy
smoking
fucking
hot.
fuck, mate. Let me tell you, if
Even in
Anne-
Ocean's 8, like
mate,
when she's
okay, Jedinak, if Anne Hathaway was in the shopping center, your fucking shopping trolleys would be everywhere. There would be chaos because people would be ramming into cars, looking at Anne Hathaway. She made it to the car. To go put the shopping in the back of the car, mate. She would cause chaos in the
Yeah.
shopping center.
She's
Anne Hathaway,
hot.
she's so fucking hot.
Like she's okay. I mean, she's different.
Like I'd turn for her.
She's different. Like I think who would I classify as like okay, they seem like an actual actress. What's her name in from Wolf of Wall Street, the wife?
Margo Robbie.
Margo Robbie's hot. She's
Margo
hot.
Yeah,
Robbie.
see, that's what I mean. That's kind of like your
Yeah, but they're
standard
both
hot
similarly
actress.
hot.
No, but she could I can't just see her as a nerd.
Do you know why I think you think that?
hang on.
It's because Anne Hathaway was in Princess Diaries and she started off as the curly-haired nerd. No?
I actually honestly think that she's got a very unique
You are in a
look.
very, very small.
No, but he's still
denomination.
saying she's attractive though.
No,
Yeah, I
100%
know.
She's
Yeah,
attractive.
that's
but
what he's saying.
It's
I
a
know.
different type of attractive.
But I'm just
Like,
saying that she does look like the standard hotness of an actor.
Yeah,
So
Like,
you compare her to Margot Robbie, it's totally different.
No, it's
Okay,
not.
so Margot Robbie, you're saying is smoking. Smoking
yes,
hot.
she's a very, very good looking.
Because I'm with you, Sassy Suhini. I would say Margot Robbie and Anne Hathaway are smoking hot equal.
Yeah, they're
Different.
They're
It's a
of the same
different-
That's
ilk.
what I mean, though.
They're
Different.
of the
Different
same ilk.
type.
No, it's not. I know what you're saying by different because Benedict Cumberbatch is not your standard handsome.
I don't think he's a handsome guy at all.
No.
And I'm not being weird. I'm not trying to be
No.
like not gay and shit. I'm just saying the dude ain't handsome.
Do you understand now? Like, as a woman, I'm telling you that Margo Robbie and Anne Hathaway are your standard hot.
Yeah.
Right?
Except Cumberbatch isn't.
Do you
Which is
think-
true.
But Cumberbatch, like you guys, straight away, that's not your standard hot. And I'm saying to you as a woman, as a hetero woman, that he's attractive to me, but he's not your standard hot. He's not your standard hot actor.
No, see, if you were to kind of like do
Whereas
a scale,
Anne Hathaway is like smoking,
She's
hot,
smoking, man.
man.
Like,
She's smoking.
Like if you put them on a scale, you kind of got like Anne Hathaway on one side of the nerdy attractive scale. It's kind of like Anne
She's
Hathaway's
nowhere
here,
near nerd.
and then
You are-
Cumberbatch is like on the lower end.
No
type of
way.
Thing.
Anne Hathaway is like standard hot is over here. Okay, she's standard hot as fuck. Benedict Cumberbatch is somewhere in this nether region of.
No.
I don't
Okay,
know where to put you.
sorry. Do you put? Sorry to go back. You put Margo Robbie and Anne Hathaway together as the same in terms of hotness. They obviously
They're
look
different. They're very different. Yeah.
Yeah, they obviously
Yeah, but
physically
you
look
don't-
different,
but-
but they're
Yeah.
But I don't agree. I know what he's trying to say. I know his classification, which is that he's saying, okay, I've worked it out.
Okay.
All right. He's saying that Margot Robbie is the Brad Pitt of the
Yes.
actress world.
Yes, that would be
okay.
true.
Yeah,
So
right,
like
yep.
the standard classic hot guy.
Yep.
And then he's saying that Anne Hathaway is the Benedict Cumberbatch of the male world. And I'm saying that is dead
they're
set
quite
fucking
far-
wrong.
They're quite
Yeah, 'cause
worlds apart still,
the prob-
unfortunately. But
Yeah.
because the problem with that is
Yeah.
Okay,
I've got the example. I've got it.
Okay,
I've
okay.
got it. So
do you have it or not?
I do. So Benedict Cumberbatch is like the Helena Bonham Carter of the actress world.
Who's that?
Helena, like,
she was in Harry Potter.
like you know the one with the crazy fucking hair.
Beatrice.
You mean the no? You mean she was in Fight Club? She was in the
yes,
girlfriend.
she was the drugger.
She was the girlfriend of what's his name?
This
Edward
dude.
Norton.
This
Yeah.
dude.
I know. Yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah. She was
so
in
like,
Fight Club.
she's not ugly.
Yeah,
No.
she's got a unique look.
She's got a unique look.
She does, yeah.
That is the Benedict Cumberbatch of the
suppose-
actress
correct.
I
world.
suppose it
Yes.
would be.
Not Anne
Yeah,
Hathaway.
It is. You're
Thank
right.
you.
You're right.
it
Well
doesn't,
done.
It
I'm
doesn't
here all
help.
day.
Well done.
It doesn't help that she's actually. How much older is she compared to Cumberbatch?
I don't know. Probably a lot older.
Well, because that's kind of like.
No,
I'm still trying to think of the exact.
Yeah, I know.
No, you've got it
Same
right.
But I
age,
got,
but
but you,
Yeah,
I got
so-
the
what
gist
you
of
mean.
it.
So you're
Yeah.
saying that chick from Fight Club,
Yeah.
whatever her name is,
Helena Bonham Carter.
is the same as Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, i.e., they're not but ugly, but they're not your standard handsome.
I fucking agree. We got their kids. We got their kids. It took us half an hour, but we fucking got there.
And how
Right.
did we even start this topic?
I don't know. It's a rabbit hole. This is a problem.
Discovery.
Yeah, see, that's why you never fucking talk about it in this place, because I tell you what'll happen. You'll get sucked into the vortex and you'll never come out.
And when you do come out, you've changed
You've
as a
changed.
person.
It's like a parallel universe.
Sounds like the plot of Discovery.
It is. It's a
Actually, yes, I'm not kidding.
It is a terrible.
There's-
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And the worst thing is the plagiarism you were referring to. You know what that actually was? That part of it that in the show that was.
Yeah,
it was the alien and the spores.
Yeah,
and they were
yeah.
extracting the spores. That was actually from a video game.
Yeah, apparently.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew it was
cool.
plagiarized, but for a video game it is, but not for a fucking TV show.
Oh, why not?
And it's so not Star Trek because, and I'm sorry, I'm going back down the rabbit hole.
Yep, you are.
The problem with it is that Star Trek never used or exploited aliens. Period. They tried to be diplomatic. They would resort to communicating with aliens and trying to befriend them, as opposed to exploiting them, which in Discovery they clearly do with that alien with the spores. And that's my biggest problem with that fucking show. And I know it's an alternative timeline for all the legal ramifications. We know that. I'm not going back there. Well documented, right? But my problem is that you're not even trying to be Star Trek now. You should be a completely different show. The Star Trek name is only there for the
For the
franchise.
pool and
For
the
the-
grab.
for the-
Bull and the
And I mean,
exactly.
for a
That's
show-
all it is.
For a show that brought up the Prime Directive, like, you know, which is all about not interfering
That's why.
unless absolutely necessary.
That's right.
And blah, 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 blah.
That's why it's
a
an
bit-
insult.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons why it doesn't actually follow exactly what we normally expect of Star Trek is the fact that you've got a captain there that's from an alternate universe.
See, none of that makes it doesn't make sense.
You know, which is all about the alternate timeline of Terrans being exploitative, and so he's the one who's instructing people about this and stuff. And then when they do find the little alien to exploit and stuff like that, there are definitely people that are not agreeing with what's actually happening, and they can see that it's wrong. So I think that it still is in line with actually what the original Star Trek is. They're just trying to use an alternate timeline, a person from another dimension or alternate timeline to get it. So
I don't know, man. I still struggle with that fucking show. I tried so hard.
I enjoyed it. I think I had.
Look, you know what? If you enjoy it, that's totally fine. And I think it's a lot mainly because you probably weren't invested in Next Generation or Voyager.
Yeah,
that's it. And that's Sassy Suhini and my problem, as well as a lot of other people's problem. They got
Voyager
invested in Voyager or Next Gen and or even the original, and that's what's killed them for this series. That's what the issue is.
I live in hope for Picard.
You know
Watch
what?
this space.
You know what? From that initial trailer that we saw, I have a small grain of hope, only because it didn't ram the Kelvin timeline down our throats.
And also
in terms of like the way it looked in it, the design of it.
And I live in hope because Sir Patrick Stewart had a lot of influence in the writing.
Yeah, but he might have his arm tied behind his back, as I've said before, because they may have to resort to they're basically still using an alternative timeline.
And impossible.
So who knows? But the one thing I can tell you now is I have no hope for Star Wars. None.
Oh.
Not one fucking shred of it. I know
He's not even going to watch it in the movies.
No,
really?
No, I'm fucking done, mate. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm just when the Drunken Monkey was on here, shout out to him, and he was asking me about Disney Plus, and he said to me, "You're going to get Disney Plus." I'm like, "What's the point?"
There's nothing to watch.
I'm sure there is for some people. I'm sure there is for a lot of people, but I'm not one of them. I mean, if Star Wars meant something to me, which it doesn't anymore, apart from the original trilogy, it's not enough for me to buy this subscription service. Like and that movie when it comes out in December, I'm not going out there on midnight to watch that shit. I'm just not doing it. I just can't do it anymore. They fucking kill me with that shit.
I get too tired.
Yeah.
I'm too old and feeble. I'm too old and feeble.
You know what? I now have really discovered the joy of us going to the movies on like a Saturday morning, or once recently went.
You know what you guys will be doing? You're going to be Pensioner Tuesday soon. You'll be like lining up.
We go on Tight Ass Tuesdays in the evenings.
Tuesdays.
In the evenings.
We tried a few times.
Yeah, we try to.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's kind of depressing because when you finish a movie and then you're like, shit, I got work the next day. That kind of sucks. But I mean, you got a bit of a saving.
But then your inner Tight Ass goes, I just saved a bit of money.
Yeah, you saved a bit of money. I guess the thing is that you kind of need to weigh up also what movie you're seeing, because if you're watching something already depressing, you're probably just going to get more depressed.
I will say though, Retro Dan, there is another reason which ties in very well into a topic that we have.
Yep, it's on the spreadsheet. I'm looking at it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, this not spreadsheet. This
No.
I'm leading the
Yeah,
spreadsheet soon.
you're leading.
That was a Freudian slip
It
because
was.
this post-it note has all the secrets to the topic of
All the
today's
secrets.
show.
There is a reason that we go on Tight Ass Tuesdays, and though we say it's about saving money, it is because it revolves around Jedinaks' raid schedule, and Tuesday night happens to be server reset in the world of Warcraft.
I don't know what any of that means. Not one.
So you've got servers, right, that you play on in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I know
They
that.
require maintenance.
Yep.
Every Tuesday night is maintenance night.
So it goes down.
It goes
and it's the
down.
only time you know what?
He has a shirt that says,
My-
the only reason
I'm
why I'm
here
here
is
is
my
because the server's down.
Yeah.
He
Oh, why not?
Pedro's
Cool
got that
shirt.
same T-shirt. No bullshit. He used to rock up the parties with that.
yeah.
Because that was a time when that was the only time he'd rock up out of the public. Was like, something was, Xbox Live was down or something.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
server's
yeah.
down. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the reason why we play. So,
The only time you'll take her out to the movies is when the server for World of Warcraft's down.
or
I
when
mean-
when he's raiding schedule, so when he's killing bosses and shit in game. They have a schedule, which is like Monday, Thursday, and something nights or something, and Fridays and Tuesdays. Sassy Suhini. It's the only time she gets attention.
So are you're playing World of Warcraft as well?
Yes.
Are you
as well? What am I playing? Oh, as in she.
Well, as in Sassy Suhini. Well, are you as excited as Sassy Suhini is about this? What is it? The reset, the classic coming back? No.
No, I'm not.
It's because he doesn't know.
Because I originally, actually, my friends that I used to be friends with like two other guys that are like super nerdy.
But you stopped talking to them because World of Warcraft was more important.
That's
those losers.
That's a different tunnel to go into. But yeah, it's I remember one of them started playing it when it came out, and he showed it to me, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this looks kind of cool. Because like I'm an avid like Blizzard Warcraft franchise fan, so I played all the originals and the newer ones that took like I think over a decade to make, and the StarCraft series.
These are like the real-time
I
strategy.
see you like StarCraft.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I generally liked a lot of Blizzard's like storytelling experiences and stuff like that, and the lore and the worlds that they created.
You play. Is it Hearthstone?
No.
Have you heard about all that bullshit
Hearthstone.
with all the
Yeah, some guy got banned because he was doing anti-China kind of protest, I guess. And so did the presenters and stuff. I can see why Blizzard had to do it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, then they ended up kind of revoking or undoing what they did, which was probably the best move, because you kind of do you kind of how are you saying you're saying that you don't agree with what they've done, but you do agree at the same time. So you're winning both parties, I guess. Yeah. In that sense. But anyway, so they're kind of like digressing. So we're talking about classic. Yes, that's right. So my friend was trying to introduce me onto this game, and I was like, no, I just can't see it being fun, and I didn't play it. So that's why I'm not really interested in classic, because I know what it's already about, and I'm just like, no, I don't like it. The thing is that it was the original that was the first thing, and like many things that come out that are supposed to be cutting edge, they don't end up being that fantastic. There's a lot of problems and nuts and bolts.
He's so wrong.
That are wrong with it.
He's so wrong.
Oh, BC, which is the next expansion, was the best one.
He doesn't even know what he's talking about. I'm playing it right now, and I swear to God, there are more people on this server than play.
Yeah, but she's talking about people. She's not talking about that.
Yeah, but that's what the whole game is about. It was about the community experience. It wasn't. You didn't sit there going, "Oh, great! I killed a wild boar in Westfall." That's not what the game was ever about.
I mean, it became a meme, so you could argue that it was. But the thing is that, I mean, community is an absolutely massive thing, and unfortunately, as they released more and more expansions, there was this kind of degradation of community, because, and I guess it kind of lends to the fact that, society is all about fast consumerism and stuff like that. So that, how can we get our players to jump into the game, be able to get into it quickly and enjoy that experience, but they forgot that a lot of that experience was primarily about the community, which is something that Classic has got. But again, it's like there's so many problems with Classic, and I think...
Like what?
Well...
Let it out, mate. Let it out.
Let's talk about mages. They have like one button in their rotation.
What does that mean?
So normally when you have a character, right?
Yep.
You can have different kind of roles and stuff, like a tank or something that does damage, throws spells or arrows or shit like that, right? And then you get also like healers. Now, everything has got, or is supposed to have, something called a rotation. So you will press a series of buttons, kind of like you're doing Guitar Hero or something like that, to, do something. And there's way to like min-max your output, right? The thing is that Classic, when they originally brought out a lot of the characters, they only had a few buttons to press, because obviously it was a very, very new game and stuff like that. Like, as in, and I'm just being clear here, very engaging buttons to press that would be relevant for like your rotation. There'd be many other things that you could press too, but you wouldn't use them in a given time. Like, for example, if you're fighting a boss, the last thing you're going to be doing is conjuring mana buns or cakes or food. Like it's fucking retarded. Why would you
Mages
do
can
that?
make food. So that
Mages
you
can
live
summon
longer.
food out of the thin air. Yeah, that's right.
Yes. 'Cause
Which
they're
you can
wizards,
share to your
right?
party. Yeah, like I mean, but
Just run with it, Retro Dan.
I'm running with it, man.
Anyway.
I'm just gonna let him purge because this is his chance.
But currently, like with mages, if you have a look at the breakdown of what buttons you press, something like about maybe 95% is a single button, and that's really boring.
Yeah, that's what he thinks, but he overanalyzes everything. This is the person that makes spreadsheets.
Now let's get into
see.
that.
Okay.
Let's get into that.
Like, not everybody needs a 5,000 button rotation to go, hey, I'm having lots of fun. I want to be able to just run around and kill things really, really easy.
So let's talk about these spreadsheets.
Oh,
Yeah.
What are they, man? What are you doing with these spreadsheets?
I mean, I guess it kind of depends. I didn't really start creating spreadsheets for WoW until maybe last expansion because I started engaging more with the community that played the same kind of hero, I guess, or class, or just trying to think, wizard.
Right, yeah.
But what I actually play is quite funny. But anyway,
it's like a really fat chicken.
it's kind of like
I will
how you
show
got
you.
how you got sharks with lasers on their head. Like,
Yeah.
This is like basically
a
a
chicken with a
laser
laser on
chicken.
its head.
It's fucking ridiculous, but it's great. Like it's really funny stuff. Yeah. So what was it? What was I saying again?
There's spreadsheets.
We're making spreadsheets.
Yes. So I was engaging with the community, and then I started like doing these massive like spreadsheets where I'd try and research where you would get certain gear or to put on your character, from which place and which ones are the best ones and stuff like that. And I mean, I had quite a few. You can have a look at the picture.
They're
now.
showing me a picture of Moonkin,
Yes.
Wiki.
No, it's a moonkin.
It's called the
Moonkin.
Moonkin. Well, it's actually called the Balance Druid, but people call them Moonkins.
Or boom chickens.
Boom, yeah.
Because
Boom
they
chicken.
look like chickens and they go boom with their spells.
Yeah. Like all kind of astral.
You thought you were a nerd. And then you met us.
You guys are at another fucking level.
Yeah,
So what are you doing
sure.
with these spreadsheets that
Yeah,
I
so-
don't ever create?
So for the community, when I was making them, it was just to kind of help people that had just jumped into the game to make choices really quickly in terms of where they should go and get gear, basically. That was it. And then I was just using it as a fun avenue to try and learn more about, I guess, spreadsheets so that I could do it in my job, because there wasn't always things or time to like learn that stuff. So it was a really good opportunity to do it in what I would consider a more fun time, something that I spend so much time with anyway. But then eventually my kind of like, so in this game you have things called guilds, where it's like a collective of people that come and play together. And you of course have like a CEO called a GM, Guild Master. And because there's actually it's really amazing what kind of an organism exists inside WoW, like economy, communities and things like that. It's absolutely insane that it is there, but it is.
Because you have to remember there's millions of people.
Oh, yeah, I know how big it is. It's massive.
It's
Yeah.
She
millions
said.
of people.
So our GM, he manages a lot of like the roster and stuff like that, like who's coming to play on that day or who needs a certain boss to get certain gear and things like that. And so part of that was that he generated a spreadsheet where he would get people to write which boss they needed so that he wouldn't have to, ask each and everybody, right? So it's this big community spreadsheet, and they write down this massive list like, oh, I need this boss, and what I need it for and stuff. And I'm like, then pretty much before the start of each raid, he would basically write the roster based on those, like what people needed, right? And it was such a long-winded task for him all the time. And he'd try and involve some of the other people that co-owned the guild or helped run the guild to do it. And I was just like, you know what? I reckon I could probably make something that could automate this kind of like priority-based system. So I re-engineered his whole spreadsheet so it would automate a lot of those choices for him. And
so
that's helpful.
So it would just spit out a roster.
It had more or less spit out a roster, for him.
This is really nerdy shit, man.
Yeah.
This is making me look good. That's all I gotta say.
But it was really cool because it's just like I swear there's a way to do this that you can allocate almost a weighting to a person who needs things the most, and then that way you'd be able to make a kind of like a smart choice on the final roster.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like a fucking idiot.
You do.
I mean...
Yeah, I mean, you clearly are. I've never done this before.
I get excited going into Excel going, look, pretty colours in my boxes, and
I'm the
I
same,
alphabetized everything.
I used to be like so happy with myself when I did a pivot table.
Yeah.
That was like, I'd do a
know.
pivot table and I'd be like, yeah.
Fuck, I'm advanced.
I fucking made it. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's pretty amazing because it's like you can have all kinds of different functions which exist in Excel that you normally would access through the actual interface, right? So, you know, when you do, you're trying to find something in the spreadsheet, you do Control F and that little dialog comes up and stuff. Yeah. I mean, everything that has an underlying function that you can actually write into a cell. And just kind of saying, all right, well, you know, you've got this capability and this function and stuff. How do you kind of put them together to create something which can do X, Y, Z? And it's really crazy. So, like, for example, with your Control F, you know, doing your find and replace, you could actually use the base Excel function for find to flag inside a cell if somebody's said, oh, I need an axe. And then if it's an axe and it flags as a 1 or something like that, it'll then allocate like a high priority number over somebody else who needs, I don't know, a walking stick or something. So
this is really deep nerdy shit.
Insane.
This
it's
is
insane.
bad.
I didn't even know this.
I feel fucking so stupid.
Yeah.
Here I was doing my taxes on my spreadsheet and I could have been using it for wow.
I feel like a fucking trained seal that knows how to run. Like,
he's a very smart dude. You've done well. You've done well.
I know. Play soccer and no spreadsheets.
He plays for the Socceroos.
Yeah.
He knows spreadsheets. Right.
But I got him into World of Warcraft.
She basically did. Like,
yeah.
See, when we first met, I was quite ashamed that I played computer games like most nerdy guys do when they meet a girl that doesn't know their alternate life.
I know that feeling. Dude, I tell you now, when we leave, I'll show you upstairs my little console collection.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate pussy repellent you've ever seen, mate. I'm telling you now.
As long as it isn't Hello Pony.
I'm not a pony. Have you heard about ponies?
Oh, that's fucking weird.
He's heard about ponies.
There is an actual festival in like fucking California or something where people dress up in GIMP uniforms and they pull horse carriages and everything.
Yeah. Is this where they put the tail?
Yeah. These guys.
Oh, no, that's another level.
That's another level.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, there's people that are big fans of Hello Pony. Oh, no, sorry, My Little Pony.
My Little Pony, yeah.
They call themselves ponies.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And they buy all the pony merchandise. I'm
Yeah.
being serious. So the old, was it the 80s? The cartoon from the 80s?
Yeah.
My
Little Pony, there's no place like
Yeah.
Pony.
Yeah.
So that shit, there's grown-ass men that are fans of My Little Pony, and they walk around and they call themselves ponies, and they go to like conferences and conventions or whatever you call
What
it.
a time to be alive.
Yeah, they got like Hello Pony.
What a time
Remember
to be
what I
alive.
said about Operation Sparta? Those motherfuckers are going to get pushed over first. I would have no problem, right? But the more people you push over the cliff, the more exposed I get. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
They'll
a
eventually
layer.
get to that point.
That's right. There's only a couple of layers deep
Yeah.
before they start looking at me going, "You're fucking useless."
Oh. But
So,
yeah.
So when we started going out and stuff, because I was still playing like a lot of Warcraft 3, the real time strategy, we eventually decided to watch South Park, and there was a South Park episode which
Make love, not Warcraft.
Yeah, I think that was the name of the episode. Yeah. And
It's a classic.
and then she said, "Why don't we go check it out?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I mean, And my friend tried to introduce it to me. I didn't really like it. But then we played it and we just kind of like got hooked on there. And
you got fucking
we got up to level 20 or something, which is all you can play free.
Crystal meth.
And then, well, I mean, jokingly, it
probably
is.
better for you, crystal meth. I'm just going to argue. I don't know, man.
I mean,
At least it gets you outside.
You've gone down the rabbit hole, man. You guys have fucking never seen the light of day.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't caught myself rummaging through my own bins, so I think I'm okay.
It would if
inside my own home.
I'll tell you, if you had printed out one of your spreadsheets and you misplaced it, you'd be going through those bins. I'm telling you now. That's how much you love those spreadsheets.
It's good stuff. But yeah, so then we kind of got hooked onto it and stuff, and yeah, I mean the sub's quite cheap. It's definitely much less expensive than going out for drinks.
What do they charge you for World of Warcraft? What is it?
It's about, I think it's 16 a month or something. So it's like your standard Netflix.
Okay,
HD.
so $15 a month, you get to play as much as you want. And you're off and running.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And then, and with every new expansion, like you've got to pay for that's every 3 years.
Right.
So the extra.
The classic WoW that just came out, you would.
So no, with classic WoW, if you already had a subscription, you didn't have to pay.
So dumb question. Yeah. You've already answered this. What was the point and purpose of releasing classic WoW? Why did they do that?
Because it's been 15 years.
So it was like a celebration.
And also there's a very large portion of the WoW community that had never experienced classic.
Right.
So they're in their early 20s.
Don't you feel old with that shit?
Holy shit.
Pretty crazy.
But we've got friends coming back who are in their late 30s, early 40s who've come back to play classic again. And it's like nothing's really ever changed. So
there's another aspect of it, which is actually a really, really underpinning motivation, I guess, behind, the whole classic movement type of thing. So what happened was that there were a lot of people that were running illegal servers with the classic client, and there was one major server. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a group that ran this one server, this classic server. It had a lot of people on there. Apparently, Blizzard found out that this is the company that produced WoW, and they were like, "Well, this is illegal. We're shutting you down." Like they actually slammed them with a lawsuit. And this was maybe about, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. And then, of course, they announced Classic WoW last year. So that was the big reason, because they're like, oh, well, shit, there's a market there. If we're fucking up our current version of WoW, we know that we can fall back on Classic, because Classic, the thing is, it's a funny catch, right? You pay your subscription, you get Classic WoW for free. So you can play either versions of the game as long as you pay a subscription. So it's actually a really smart model,
but you can't play them at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only problem that really sucks, because I mean I love double boxing, so yeah. But
what's double boxing?
Dual boxing, sorry.
Dual boxing. So you've got 2 versions of WoW running at the same time.
I had this other image.
Yeah, I know you did. That's why I looked at you.
You're looking at me like you're a dirty sick motherfucker. You were. I know. She knows me too well. Because I was just sitting there with a glazed look. Double boxing. What does that mean?
I actually said it wrong. It's dual boxing and stuff, but you can
still sounds a little bit. You know what?
I don't know. Gamers and sex, if that's supposed to be, doesn't really mix very well. But
what are you, like the purple unicorn of the one?
He's
that's
like
married?
he's the unicorn that met a unicorn.
Yeah,
because he. See, I don't know if it's good. It's like 2 drug dealers meeting and falling in love. Like, you didn't actually progress. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you had an addiction to WoW.
Yeah.
Jedinaks had an addiction. Well, he didn't actually. You fucked him.
Yeah.
Neither
of us had addictions to start off with.
No, we didn't.
No, well, how did you get into it again? Yeah, I know you've told me, but refresh my memory.
No. I got into it because of the South. I was
we
never a
both
gamer.
watched
So what, you just sat there and went, that's it, we're going to play this game.
Let's go
I
check
was
it
just
out.
like, that looks so
Honestly,
cool. I want to try it.
It looks so good, let's try it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That was her. It wasn't me. It was her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to be clear.
You killed him.
Yeah, well, basically.
He was a functioning athlete for the Socceroos, and you killed his dreams, all of his ambitions and motivations. And I bet your mum's not happy, Jedinaks. I bet your mum's
neither of my parents are happy about it, but it's just like, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm employed, so it's fine.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that saves your bacon with this shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if, like, all the shit that I buy, right, all my pussy repellent,
Yeah.
the old man will look at it and go, too much money, fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
I'm 44, right, and he still goes, fucking idiot, right? But that's the only get out of jail on that is that I can afford it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if you're not doing work, if you're not working or whatever it is and you haven't got the money and you're doing this shit and you're sitting on your ass all day, that ain't cool.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
Exactly.
it 100% isn't, right?
no.
I
I mean, that is borderline no different
But
to
do you
having
not
a
see-
drug addict.
Yeah.
Drug addiction.
But you can
Ring a
see.
ding ding, baby.
Yeah, that's right. But you do see how it can happen, though. How people
Absolutely.
just. Well, I told you the story, Sassy Suhini, but I'll tell Jedinaks because he probably doesn't listen to this bullshit podcast and it probably upsets me, but don't really give a fuck. Right? There's a guy I used to go to school with. I don't know if this story is 100% true, but I heard through friends of friends of friends in a roundabout sort of way at a mini school reunion. He got involved in Ultima Online.
Oh, dear. Okay.
So you know what that is? Okay, I never played it myself, but I knew a lot about it. And apparently this guy was living with some other school friends that we had over in Bondi, somewhere like this.
Yeah.
And he got so obsessed by it that he lost everything. Lost his girlfriend, lost his job. These guys would make like some food for him, put a bowl in front of his, like on his desk. They'd come back an hour or two later and the bowl would be empty, but he wouldn't have left. He didn't leave his chair. He's still playing Ultima Online.
Yeah.
And I actually, a few years later, I did meet up with him and I said, I heard this bullshit wacky story. Is it true? And he actually said to me, I don't know if he was bullshitting me or not, I don't know, but he said to me, yeah, it's true, I did. I got fucking hooked on this game.
Yeah.
Wow.
100%. Like, I mean, I completely believe it. And
Yeah.
there's plenty of like stuff out there. Like you go type into YouTube, World of Warcraft wrecked my life or destroyed my life. You will get hits.
We used to have a cousin, Jason Relaxation and I. Didn't we, Jason Relaxation? That's right, Richard Dan.
Here in spirit.
He's been very quiet today.
Yeah.
First time ever, the little fuck's not interrupted me. It's a fucking miracle. We used to have a cousin, and we still do, who was way into WoW, and he was making money selling characters. And I was like, what? Well, what? He goes, yeah, I'll get him to like level 60 or some bullshit, and I'll spend a couple of hours farming and getting their XP up and their level up or whatever it is, and then I'll flog these characters off to somebody. And I go, what?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, this is how I get some pocket money doing that. And I quite like playing the game, so why not? What?
Yeah.
You know, like I'm thinking this is just the most wackiest shit I've ever heard, but I know people do it. And if you talk about that, Sassy Suhini and I talked about this at one point, Jedinaks. You look at StarCraft, the Koreans fucking kill themselves. Those, they sit there and they don't drink water and they fucking die.
Yeah, there's
That's
people that have actually died over that stuff. Well, I mean, humans are human. They make mistakes and stuff, and some are just more susceptible to all kinds of addictive things.
But you know what, Jedinaks? Humans need to be loved.
Well, they do. They do, but...
That's what Morrissey said with the Smiths. I am human and I need to be loved just like everybody else does.
Need World of
And then he
Warcraft.
went, and see, I've already taken too long and now all my hope is gone. That's
You-
Smiths. The Smiths, man,
The Smiths are a very depressing band.
they're awesome. They're so awesome.
A lot of
I
their
must
songs
admit,
make you
I've
wanna-
sat there on darkest days,
Yep.
right? And I've sat there listening to the Smiths and I've gone, oh, fuck, I've probably gone a bit too far.
Yeah.
And then I lighten the mood with some Radiohead, which doesn't help.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
No. And then I got nervous. Nathan, shout out to him. I got him onto Stabbing Westward and their album Darkest Days. Jedinaks, that's the most depressing shit you'll ever hear in your life. But I think you can get that on Spotify. I think. I don't know. I can't remember. You can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
No.
You get depressed. Now listen.
Yeah.
We've got another topic before we end up this bullshit podcast. I'm getting close to needing the piss.
Yep.
You've given up the smokes. And this will be a good chance for Jedinak to tell the truth. Have you been a total bitch while you've been off the smokes? Or have you been good?
His
silence is golden, man.
He's working out.
He's working it out. That says to me a lot. He's
I can't imagine that I've been the most pleasant.
So you gave up the
person.
smokes.
I did. So we went.
You went traveling.
On holidays.
Yep.
We went on holidays about 7 weeks ago now, and the day that we left is the day that I quit. And everyone was like,
How'd you do it?
Cold turkey. Cold turkey.
Yeah, okay, cold turkey.
Nothing.
She finished a box before we went.
No, I didn't.
One hit.
Yeah, just lit all the
I
same
did.
time, the whole mouth.
No.
I would like to try that one time and see if I make it out alive.
No, don't. It's
What?
disgusting.
Just smoking one hit?
No, you take get the whole box, shove it in your mouth, and then light all of them at the same time and inhale.
You would get nicotine poisoning, 100%.
I reckon you would, man.
You would 100%.
And you know what else you'd probably do? Burn that beautiful beard of yours
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
to a cinder, man.
Yeah.
Set it alight. Yeah.
No, so we when we went, everybody was like, you're a fucking idiot. Why would you quit smoking before you go to Europe when it's like €3 a pack or something?
And they smoke everywhere there too.
Oh,
yeah.
Paris was just a nightmare. But
It's very strange.
It is weird.
They
I know.
smoke so much.
It's weird. Yep.
And anyway, it was hard, but you know, I was distracted. And then the real challenge was here at work, like quitting smoking. What are you doing?
It's
fiddling?
incense. He's looking at my incense. I was going to light it up
Yeah.
while
why
we were
not?
talking, but it's pretty fucking strong.
Oh, is
I
it?
like
No, that's okay. I
incense.
love
It's a nice
incense.
smell.
I could have.
Yeah.
Well, I could light it up. I could
Yeah.
light
Do
one
it.
up
Later, maybe.
later.
But
Finish the story.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I just yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard, but I will give you this though. Even though I crave it still, like there are times where like during the day I'll be like, fuck, I could really go for a cigarette right now. When I smell it now,
You feel sick?
I feel sick.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times from people that have given up the smokes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've gotten to that point now where when I genuinely smell cigarette, like before when I was in Paris and I smelled cigarette, I was like,
Yeah,
baby,
need
come
it.
at me.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
just inhale everything. You're like, I went like hormone monster style in Big Mouth. Like,
Yeah, you went to a big mouth. Have you seen that?
yeah,
Yes.
we love it.
I got her on it.
Yeah.
I saw my first episode last night. I've never seen it before.
It is
And
so weird.
But I can't believe it's
crass.
how it gets away with what it
I
gets
know.
away with.
It's literally South Park 2.0.
That is exactly
That's what we said.
Yeah.
That's what we said.
Except
Yep.
South Park is like tame compared to it.
Well, the thing is, no, I mean, it's kind of it's different, right? Because I think South Park explores a lot of like social issues, like generalized social issues.
Yeah.
This is more focused on the whole idea of
Awkward teenage.
prepubescent
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
of thing, and that's really cool. Like, I mean, I think it's something that
I don't think we've ever had that
no,
before. have
and
we?
that's
I've
why
never
I think
seen
it does a really good job, because you're kind of sitting there going, all right, this is really crass, but it does relate, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's been through something of
Yeah.
that in there.
Oh yeah.
Like even with the chicks.
I've had the rubbing up against the girl in the pants. That's happened. That's happened.
The awkward, I'm sure every
and then
guy
that
has
while
had-
you're
The
walking,
mons pubis.
and then why you're walking like a cowboy for the rest of the night because it's like in your pants.
Oh god.
that has happened. That's an admission.
But yeah.
I admit that.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a
But
good
there's-
series.
Yeah, you need to. You know, I can't tell you the other bits without ruining it for you.
I'm gonna
so-
go watch it tonight. I'm
Yeah,
gonna watch
do
a
it.
bit more
Watch it.
tonight, and
Yeah.
I'll probably be texting you going, "Fuck, I'm up to
Wow.
this episode. What the hell? This is bullshit." This is what-
I just don't know how they get away with it. I mean, there's some bits and pieces where I'm kind of like, ooh, how they are totally pressing the boundaries in that, because, like, you know, it's children.
But you
in
know
a
what the-
cartoon.
But the
right?
crazy thing is, it's a Netflix produced animation.
Yeah.
So Netflix is bankrolling this thing. I'm
Yeah, I
like,
know.
what?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh, good for them.
Oh,
I
good
mean,
for them.
It's awesome.
I agree. Totally
Yeah.
agree. I'm like, but when I saw it last night, it came up as Netflix produced or Netflix original, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? This
Yeah.
is insane how bad this is. This is Big Mouth we're talking about for those two people that are listening to
Yeah.
this bullshit podcast. Sassy Suhini, so you're off the smokes.
Yeah, so
And do you think you got no cravings, or do you still get that?
no, I still get cravings, but the difference is this time I'm like in my head, I'm done. That's the difference. I think that's like with anything, right? Like you only ever do the difficult things when you're ready to do it and when you actually want to do it.
Yeah.
And so I know
It's a bit like sex. I can't be fucked.
it only goes up when you really want to do it.
That's right.
No, so I know that even though I've got the cravings and I'll still have the cravings, I took it as a little win that I now smell it and it smells
Yeah,
gross.
that's what happens to a lot of people.
I
Yep.
know now that even if I gave into the craving and I probably had a drag of it, it would actually probably taste gross to me as opposed to, oh yeah, that's that nice feeling that I used to associate it with.
Yeah.
So that makes me go, it's just not worth caving at all. And I'm done. I'm just done with it.
You reckon you're just done now?
I'm just done with it. Like I always knew that when I was getting into my 30s, like it had to stop. It was one of those habits. It's like either you do it now or you're going to be stuck with it until you're like,
Well, you know what
50.
happens when you get to your 40s?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not everybody, but for a lot of people, it will start falling off a bit.
yeah,
Right? That's when things start happening. Like
Yeah.
that's like when you reach 100,000 kilometers in a car.
yeah.
The shit starts rattling,
Yeah.
right? And the human body's the same, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But unlike a car, you can't trade the fucker in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'd give anything to trade this little fucking bitch of a body in.
Yeah.
And I want a robot body. Stick my brain in a like a robot body.
Yeah.
And you walk
Transfer
around.
my consciousness.
Yeah, transfer my consciousness to a new like robot or something like this.
Yeah.
That'd be
Boom.
boom, bang.
Which movie was that from?
I think it-
RoboCop.
I think
Not
no,
RoboCop.
it was a
Avatar?
cartoon.
But it was in there too.
It was a cartoon. wasn't
Avatar
it?
was that too, but it was not.
cartoon.
There was a cartoon, wasn't it? Like they got someone's brain and they stuck it into a robot, and the robot took over. I can't
Really?
remember myself.
I
Swear it's RoboCop.
RoboCop, it is RoboCop.
It is,
too,
but
yes.
there was something else, and I think, and the major plot line was that they were trying to transfer the consciousness of I think the CEO of the company, and the guy was evil.
Oh,
Oh, what was that? That was something. Yeah,
no,
was-
I don't know that.
there was. Yeah.
I'll have to try and remember.
No, he's
But yeah.
right. I remember that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're off. You're done.
Yeah, I'm
Good
done.
for you. Now, look, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you're giving up the smokes and you're at your weakest and your lowest point,
Yeah.
did you have like montage music to get you through? Like, you're the best around. Nothing's going to hold you back. You're the best. Like Karate Kid? Like, were you like Daniel LaRusso fucking training and shit? Like, just to get yourself through this, you push through the barrier?
I didn't have that
Or did
kind
you
of
have like the
music.
hormone genie
No.
going, you want another one? You just see someone light up and go, don't you want to
Don't
smoke,
you want a
darling?
diary? I had a bit more of a depressing thing to actually get me through, unfortunately. So, because, yeah, I've known a lot of people this year that have unfortunately lost their battle with cancer.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, and I was like, I just can't. And they were healthy people. They had no previous, they were never smokers. They were quite fit. And I think, and even Richard's uncle, I don't know actually if your uncle was a smoker, but it was just one of those situations where it was like, this is ridiculous.
Well,
you know?
you and I talked about it. It can go either way, right?
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
smoke forever. I knew a bloke. I used to work with a bloke.
Mm.
He used to smoke so much that I used to catch him during non-smoking breaks at all parts of the factory there.
Mm. Yeah.
And I'd be like, mate, you can't. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I know, but I just need it.
Yeah.
And mate, fuck. But he was well into his 70s and he kept smoking. I didn't see any
Yeah.
ill issues with that guy.
Yeah.
Mind you, he wasn't doing the Olympics either, right? And then other people, right,
Take a whiff of
they
it.
take one whiff and they're fucked.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know.
You know, it's funny though. My aunt always used to say, like, the people, because there was a couple of people, who shall remain nameless, in my extended relation family, who drank and smoked a lot.
Jedinaks family.
No, mine actually. Probably. He's an Eastern Euro.
He's an Eastern European folk.
And my aunt always used to joke. She was like, you know, it's always the angry, bitter bastards who smoke and drink till the end.
That's true.
Yeah, because it's the anger and the bitterness that makes them live longer.
It's true, man. You know that is really true. So,
The toxins nourish their body.
yeah.
That's
But you know,
exactly what it is.
there's something in nicotine
Yeah.
that's actually good for you.
Yeah.
If you extract the nicotine away from the tobacco and all the chemicals and all that bullshit, there's something in nicotine. I don't have enough knowledge about it. I'd have to do some more studying on it to really do some commentary on it. But there's something in nicotine that's actually beneficial for people. I can't remember what it is. But
it gets negated by the time.
Yeah, but the problem is in cigarettes, you're not just smoking
nicotine.
And it's all the shit they put in it.
Yeah.
Like that's why there's a fucking filter.
Yeah.
I'm not a smart bloke, but when you get a cigarette and it's got a filter on the end of it, that says a lot to me. It's like, fuck me.
I don't understand why they have to. Why there's those like kind of additives. Like I guess there's something in the production process that kind of leads to that, but. Yeah, I'm not really sure why.
I don't know, man.
In that case,
I used to have a mate of mine that I met while I was backpacking in Europe, and he used to work for Philip Morris, so Marlboro.
Yeah,
and he was a Sparky,
right?
And this guy earned heaps of money. He was an electrician, earned heaps and heaps of money, and he would ring me up from Melbourne all the fucking time, and he had nothing to do. Except read the newspaper, piss fart around, and ring me up and harass everybody else.
Yeah.
But he told me when that machine went down, the packing machine for the smokes, when that thing went down, it was all hands to the pump. You drop what you did. You drop your lunch break, you drop your smoko break, whatever it was, you fix that machine.
Yeah.
But any other time when the machine's not down and it was running, you could do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10...
Yeah.
You're playing footsies with me.
Yeah.
9 times, sorry, Jedinaks, it wasn't me. I didn't start it. 9 times out of 10, that machine was fine.
Yeah.
But quite often he'd ring me and go, "Oh, sorry, dude, the machine's down." Bang. He'd have to just do it, bail and go straight to this machine.
That's so much money.
Oh, the money's insane for these fuckers. You know, like
I know. And look, I don't even think it's necessarily the additives in there. It's just you burn anything and you inhale it, like it's bad.
It's bad for you, man.
Like it's not even, because people think it's just like carbon dioxide, but you burn something, the residue from that. There's a lot going on in there.
I think the chemicals are the biggest killer.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the composition of a normal cigarette. I really don't.
Yeah.
But it's not just tobacco you're smoking. It's not just nicotine you're absorbing.
Something else.
There's a lot of chemicals in that shit, and I think that does more damage, to be honest.
And the other reason I went cold turkey is because I know a lot of people have switched over to vaping, but I think anything that you're inhaling.
Yeah, I'm not convinced on that shit either.
No.
The first time I saw vaping was in Hawaii back in 2013. I'd never seen it before, right?
Yeah, like, what the hell is that?
And I'm like, I actually thought these guys were all fucking smoking crack.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was, Jedinaks. I'd never seen it before, and they were fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And I remember, and then they were in. There was these young kids in the bar. I shouldn't say young kids, or young couple in a bar, and they were vaping. And I said, "I'm really sorry, guys, but what is this?"
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, it's vaping." I went, what the fuck's this shit? And we hadn't had it it wasn't here yet in Australia. It wasn't available. And then before you know it, everybody's got it. You know, you also shout out to Rocket Russell. That he's got some electronic motherfucking thing. It's like you hit a button or some bullshit. I don't understand it. You know, my body's shot, man. I'm done. Right? I'm a walking pharmaceutical, let alone fucking having that bullshit in my body. You know what I mean? I can't do it.
No. So I just thought, no, I'm not going to replace it with another addiction. So cold turkey.
Well done.
Yeah, it's it.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
If I was a school teacher, I'd give you a scratch and sniff.
Oh,
yeah.
A gold star.
Oh, gold star. See, that deserves a fucking gold star.
Yes, it does. Not just for turning up.
Okay. I mean, I know it's only been 7 weeks.
Yep.
You know, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a long time.
But these days, if you turn up to work or you turn up to school, you just get a gold star. Aren't we in for a world of pain when these kids grow up and they go, "Where's my gold star? We used to get it at school." Like, fuck me.
Mate,
dude.
I'm in the senior citizen home
I go
now,
back
so
to
I don't
Operation Sparta. Push the fucks off.
Just on that vaping thing, actually, there was I think I read it somewhere online, some news article that some guy actually died from vaping.
Yeah, really? I don't think it's as clean as we think it is.
I Yeah.
I
it's a
mean, I
very
know
new
dick about
technology.
it, but I'm not convinced on it.
No.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
and I
like-
just feel like anything external that you're inhaling
be
into
good.
your body, it just can't be good.
No, it can't
Your
be.
lungs are other than your heart, your lungs are one of the most sensitive
It's a very
organs
complex
in your
system.
body.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But they do regenerate.
They do.
They do if they're given time to regenerate. But you know what? I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
My grandmother,
Yeah.
she died of emphysema.
Yeah.
And you know how they say people recover after they stop smoking and all? She was one that fucking didn't. I'm telling you now, she was one of the ones that didn't, right?
Yeah.
She did partially, but for the rest of her days, she had issues with breathing, and then at the end it was emphysema.
Yeah.
You know, she couldn't walk from where I am to where Jedinak is without it being the Olympics. That's how
Yeah.
bad it was.
Yeah.
And she ended up dying basically with choking on her own fluids in her lungs.
Yeah.
It was a horrible way to die. It was horrible, right? But I don't like telling people what they should do because that's not for me. You've got to find your own path,
Yeah.
right? If you've got an addiction to smokes, alcohol, I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's not my place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not fucking perfect either. But if you've come to your own conclusion and said, I'm going to give up the smokes, awesome.
Yeah.
But you did it on your own, right? And the other thing is the old, saying you can lead a horse to water. You could have had Jedinak tell you, "Oh, I want you to give up the smokes. I want you to give up. Oh, I will. But you know what? Unless you do it yourself, it ain't
Yeah.
going to happen.
Exactly. And I mean, he hates it. He absolutely hates
You
it.
don't smoke.
He
Jedinak.
absolutely hates it, and he's hated it for a very long time. But that's what I mean by there's something changes in your brain where you go when you finally go, I'm done.
Was it like Cypress Hill, insane in the membrane? Insane in the brain.
Insane in the brain. No, it really was.
Insane in the membrane.
Because I planned it. I thought I've got to be smart about it. I'm not just going to go willy nilly one day. I'm just going to quit because that's just setting up yourself up for failure. So I thought the holiday would be great because by the time the holiday's finished, that's 4 weeks that I haven't smoked, and I knew I would have enough distractions to be okay with not smoking there. And I was right. It was good. And by the time I got home, 4 weeks in, A, I was committed and I knew I wanted to quit. And B, it had been a long enough period of time where you go, you don't want to fuck it up now. Like, keep going. Just keep going.
I think
So-
that it also helps that you weren't working because
Yeah. Yeah.
No stress.
It's not just the stress thing, but if your environment originally was a contributor to the addiction, and it's not just stress, it's the people too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people
and
around me smoke.
that's like why even when
Fuck
I was
those
younger,
losers, man.
Yeah.
Fuck those losers.
like when I was younger, my mum would caution me about a lot of, I guess, people. Like if you see something that's not a good habit, keep away from it. And so I generally kept away from people.
That's why
like
you
that.
turned out well, Jedinak.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean,
That's
like,
why you're a soccer
that's-
superstar.
It's the big reason why
Yet he
I found
married a
gaming
smoker.
instead.
He married a smoker. You would have got the disapproving looks at the family dinner, I'm sure of
I've
it.
never smoked around the family,
No,
ever.
but they can
No.
smell it, but
Oh, yeah, they would have known.
yeah, you can smell it.
No.
It just depends where you do it and when you do
Yeah,
it.
I used to laugh at guys. To finish up on this topic, I used to laugh at guys that used to smoke at work, and then they'd
Put
chew.
cologne
They
on.
put cologne or chewing gum, and then they go home to their family because their family were under the assumption they weren't smoking them. But I'm like, you fucking stink of it.
Yeah.
Because as a non-smoker, you can really smell.
Oh,
a
you can
smoker.
totally smell it.
So bad,
It's-
right?
it's everywhere.
And my lungs burn whenever I sit in somebody's car that they smoke in or something. My lungs just burn.
Car smoking is
I
so
never
disgusting.
smoked
Car
cars.
smoking is the worst.
Why
Yes.
would you ever do that to your car?
Oh man, the car's fucked forever, man.
It's
Ever, forever.
depreciation accelerated.
You
Like,
know-
I mean, you're not going to get anything.
You can't
back
get
from
out.
it.
You
That's
can't
the
get that
thing.
smell out.
You know what's funny? Like before, the first car that I bought was this Bomberina, right? And
Now you got a
everyone,
Mercedes.
and everyone assumed that it stunk because I smoked in the car. I never ever smoked in the car ever.
It definitely had a weird smell to it.
But it was the previous owner must have smoked in the car, and that just goes to show because they got it dry cleaned, everything. They were really good with like the condition they gave the car in, but you can never
You can't get rid of it.
that smell.
It goes in the air filter of
Yeah.
the air conditioning thing.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
and
the-
it's
yeah.
impregnated in everything. The
Yeah.
dash, the it's shit.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. Just fart in
Quit.
your car and still.
Yeah.
Quit. Drop a big dirty gassy fart in the car. You'll be right.
Yep.
That's right, kids. What does Retro Dan say? Stop smoking, you fucks. That's what Sassy Suhini says too.
Yeah, I'm one of them now.
Yeah, well, on that note, I think we've covered everything, Sassy Suhini. Let's go through the list to make sure we have.
Yep.
Trolleys, we've got
Yep.
Jedinak's thoughts on Trolleys. I totally agree with you. Star Trek, got a problem with your thoughts on Star Trek. No smoking.
We're
I'm
done.
proud of you. I'm very proud of you. I
Thank
really
you.
am. Travel. Well, we didn't go through all of that, but we
kind of
maybe next time
Maybe
if you
next
want
time.
to
If
come
it's an
back,
essential.
we'll go over that one. Wow, spreadsheets. I know you talked about it, Jedinak. I just can't remember it. It just, my mind was just, I can't compute it. The beard, it's magnificent.
It's got red in it.
It's a little, no, it's not too ginger. It's all right.
It's all
You
right.
need sunshine.
Sunshine.
Lollipop.
You know what? On that note, it's time for us to go.
Yep.
And normally I've got Jason Relaxation sitting over there giving me the evil eye, but there's just an empty microphone.
I know. It's a bit sad and devastating.
Should have just put the little Buddha in front of it.
You know what? He looks like Buddha, the little fuck.
So serene.
Sassy Suhini, thank you for coming back and
Always
talking to
a
us about
pleasure.
all of these things. You know what, Jedinak? Thank you so much for coming, man. I really appreciate it. I really do.
pleasure.
Thank you for coming and being part of the couple special, because that's what this episode was. It was the couple special. And I feel very lonely because I got no one that actually loves me. So I don't even have a cat anymore. So I'll be lying on the couch crying,
We love you.
listening to Smith's records and wondering where it all went wrong.
Watching Big Mouth.
Just
I
watch Big Mouth.
will be watching Big Mouth.
That'll be
That's
your girlfriend.
It's a bit like a fucking documentary.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Of our awkward teenage lives.
It's basically not of my awkward teenage life. It's about my awkward 40s life. Walking up to an attractive woman and something happens in my pants and I have to find a toilet. That happens now and I'm 40 fucking 4. It's never changed.
Never stops.
No. Thank you, Sassy Suhini, for coming in. Thank you, Lord Richard. Jedinak, King Richard, for coming in. Thank you, Jason Relaxation, for not being part of this episode. I really appreciate you not interrupting me for a fucking change. Thank you, Retro Dan. I think you were cute and funny. That's right, you little fuck. Don't go a-changing. Thank you for the 2 people who've been listening to this bullshit podcast. Thank you for Dad for letting you choose your garage. I'm sorry I read it about fucking smoking and wow, spreadsheets. It's a rabbit hole I can't get out of. Something I need to improve in my life. I never actually took up smoking, but I wish I kind of did at one point because that way I might be looking cool and I'd fit in with the local residents that stick Winnie Blues under their fucking arms and walk around going, have you got fucking $10 to put on the pokies? I'd fit in wonderfully. And I agree with fucking Richard and Jedinak or whoever he is, the Socceroos superstar about trolleys and fucking does my head in. I hate it. I fucking can't do with the trolleys. It's a rabbit hole I can't get out of. I need to improve on it, but I got no guidance and this couple specials made me depressed because I don't have anyone that actually loves me. Or maybe I did, but now she hates me.
La 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 la.
Next week, we'll have some more Richard and more bullshit, but until then, you loving couple motherfuckers, you can roll it, muggies. Now I've got to press this button.